I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Thursday, June the 27th, 2013. The Associated Press reports that U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry left Amman, Jordan tonight to drive to Jerusalem to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as part of his ongoing efforts to revive peace talks between Israel and the Palestinians. As you may have seen on IBA News, Kerry met this morning and discussed those efforts with Jordan's King Abdallah. The two leaders also addressed the situation in Syria. Jordan's royal palace said that Abdallah told Kerry that he is working to bridge the gap between the two sides in the peace process. Meanwhile, support for Kerry's peace efforts was heard here in the U.S. from several pro-Israel groups who met with Senate Democrats yesterday in Washington. Participants at the meeting said President of AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, Michael Kassan, began his talk with a hearty endorsement of Kerry's efforts. Rabbi Steve Gutto, president of the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, expressed his support for the Secretary of State's efforts as well and addressed the meeting with an overview of Jewish community concerns. Kassan and Gutto were among nearly 20 national Jewish leaders from across the country who met with the senators for a roundtable discussion hosted by the Senate Democratic Steering and Outreach Committee. Committee Chair Senator Mark Begich led the discussion, which covered a wide range of topics of interest to the American Jewish community, from civil rights and immigration reform to the committee's commitment to Israel. Begich said today's candid conversation allowed myself and my colleagues to hear the most pressing concerns of the Jewish community and determine how we can best help address them. The United Nations Security Council unanimously voted today to extend the mandate of the UNDOF, the UN's peacekeeping force, by another 6 months in the Golan Heights, along Israel's border with Syria. The UNSC is also demanding a halt to all military activity by the Syrian government and opposition fighters on the Golan Heights, and also called for increased measures to protect the UN peacekeepers stationed there. The peacekeeping force has been monitoring the ceasefire between Israel and Syria since after the 1973 Yom Kippur War. But as we've been reporting, several countries have withdrawn from the UNDOF, most recently Austria, because of the spillover of violence from Syria's civil war. However, the Security Council unanimously agreed today not only on the need for the peacekeepers, but also on the need for their increased protection, saying that the members of the UNDOF, who are normally armed with just handguns, would be likely receiving more equipment like flak jackets, armored vehicles, and machine guns. And staying with the UN, the Times of Israel reports that Israel's ambassador to the UN, Ron Prosor, sent a letter to UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and the Security Council, calling on them to unequivocally condemn the recent rocket fire into southern Israel. Prosor sent the letter on Monday after several rockets from Gaza landed in southern Israel without injury. A total of 6 rockets were fired late Sunday night into early Monday morning. 4 exploded in open areas and 2 were intercepted by the Iron Dome missile defense system. In the letter from Prosor, the Israeli envoy said the typical UN response, which calls for both sides to stay calm, was not adequate. Prosor wrote, "This is not a matter of two sides, but one side and one side only that continues to repeatedly impose terror on innocent civilians." Prosor further said there is no place to equate between a terror group that makes civilians its target and a state that wants to protect its residents. The attack is widely believed to have been carried out by Islamic Jihad in the Hamas-controlled Gaza Strip. And finally today, McDonald's Israel says it will not open a branch of the fast food chain in the West Bank settlement of Ariel because it is over the Green Line. McDonald's Israel spokeswoman Irina Shalmor said the owners of a planned mall in Ariel asked McDonald's to open a branch there about 6 months ago. But the chain refused because it is the policy of McDonald's Israel's owner to stay out of the settlements. That owner is Dr. Omri Padan, who is also the co-founder of the Peace Now movement. Back in 1998, Padan told Haaretz that McDonald's Israel neither did nor will open a branch at any Israeli settlement beyond the Green Line, referring to the 1967 borders. adding, "I have the privilege of not needing to compromise on my principles." The McDonald's Israel spokeswoman Shalom further said the decision by McDonald's Israel was not coordinated with McDonald's headquarters in the U.S. Ariel Mayor Eliyahu Shaviro criticized McDonald's Israel's decision. He told Arutz Sheva that issues of culture and commerce should stay out of the political arena. The mall in Ariel is being built by Israeli supermarket magnate Rami Levy, who also criticized McDonald's Israel for what he called making a business decision informed by politics, a decision that Levy says will also harm the Arab population there, noting that the new mall in Ariel is expected to employ both Arab and Jewish workers from the area and provide services to both populations. The new mall in Ariel is set to open at the end of next year. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Thursday, June the 27th, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader.